90% of engine mods? Trash. They promise power, but wreck reliability. And some can blow your motor for $6,000 or more. But I found 13 mods that actually deliver. Real dyno gains, real results. One made a Civic pick up 11 miles per gallon. Another made a V6 gap a Mustang GT. And later in this video, I'll reveal the most dangerous mod I've ever seen. The one that melted a turbo and cost its owner $6,300. Buckle up, let's get started. Mod number 13, high-flow air filter. The first time I saw someone swap a stock air filter for a high-flow one, I thought it was a gimmick. But then I drove the car. The throttle felt snappier, idle was smoother, and NPG ticked up just a bit. I shut my mouth real quick. A high-flow air filter lets your engine breathe the way it wants to breathe. Stock filters are fine if you're just grocery getting, but if you care about performance or long-term reliability, upgrade it. I've put these on trucks, tuners, old muscle cars, and daily beaters. K&N, AEM, and S&B are proven brands that don't fall apart like the cheap stuff online. And yeah, they cost more up front, but they're washable and reusable. One good one can outlast 10 paper filters. It pays for itself. A big mistake folks make is slapping it in and calling it a cold air intake. It's not. And don't go soaking it in oil like you're basting a turkey. Too much oil can foul up your MAF sensor. It's a simple mod, takes minutes, but it lays the foundation for every other upgrade. Better air in, better performance out. Mod number 12, ECU remap. Your engine's capable of a hell of a lot more than the factory tune allows, but the stock ECU is playing it safe. Fuel economy, emissions, smooth drivability for your grandma. You want real performance? You tune it. An ECU remap done right wakes the engine up like a shot of adrenaline. I'm talking sharper throttle, more torque, better timing, and optimized fuel curves. I've tuned bone stock engines that felt like a whole new machine after a proper map. But here's the trap. Don't use garbage tunes from forums or cheap flash tools. I had a guy come in once with a bricked ECU. He tried to tune it himself off some $40 USB dongle. His car ran like trash, knocked like hell, burnt the valves, and nearly torched the engine. Use legit platforms. HP Tuners is great for GM, Ford, and Dodge. Tons of control. Cobb Access Port is perfect for Subarus, Mazdas, and Fords. Plug and play with dyno-ready maps. Hondata is made for Hondas and Acuras. Super precise and highly tunable. These aren't just fancy names. They're proven tools that pros rely on. And speaking of pros, get it tuned by someone who knows their way around a dyno. This isn't a video game. You're rewriting the brain of a car. Treat it with respect. Mod number 11, performance exhaust system. Ever tried driving with a clogged tailpipe? That's what your engine's dealing with on a stock exhaust. Restricted flow, heat buildup, and wasted power. A performance exhaust system sets it free. You get better flow, less back pressure, and if you do it right, real horsepower. I've installed full exhausts on Camaros, WRXs, even old Civics. Every time, the motor breathes easier. Pair it with a tune, and you're talking real gains. Torque curve smooths out, throttle response sharpens, and the sound is deep and controlled. No fart cans here. But don't just bolt on the loudest thing you can find. That's rookie stuff. Too big a pipe, and you kill your low end. No scavenging, no velocity, just noise. Stick with mandrel bent tubing. Stainless steel if you've got the coin. Don't cheap out on welds either. I've seen slip-fit junk rattle apart in a week. Leave your resonators intact too, unless you want cabin drone drumming in your head every highway mile. This isn't about being loud. It's about being efficient. Mod number 10, cold air intake. This one's tricky. Cold air intakes get hyped to hell. Every 19-year-old with a socket set thinks slapping on a shiny pipe makes them a race car engineer. Most of them are just sucking in hot engine bay air and losing power. But a properly designed cold air intake, placed outside the heat zone, sealed off, pulling fresh, dense air, that's a real upgrade. I installed one on a 6th-generation Camaro with a heat shield and fender well scoop, paired it with a tune and picked up 10 to 15 horsepower at the wheels. Not bad for bolt-on and done right. But here's where folks screw it up. They buy a generic pipe off eBay, throw it on near the exhaust manifold, and wonder why their car feels sluggish. It ain't about looks. It's about air temperature. Cooler air packs more oxygen. More oxygen means better combustion. Simple science. And don't ignore your MAF sensor. We locate it wrong, and your AFR goes haywire. Boom, check engine light. Stick with names like AEM, InGen, or Volant. They've tested their stuff. They didn't just bend pipes in a backyard and call it performance. Mod number 9. Lightweight pulley kit. Most folks chase horsepower. They forget about freeing it up. That's where lightweight pulleys come in. Your engine is spinning belts all day. Alternator, power steering, water pump. The heavier those pulleys, the more energy your engine wastes just turning its own guts. Swap them for lightweight aluminum or underdrive pulleys, and you get less rotational drag. The engine revs quicker, feels snappier, not more horsepower, but more usable power. I put a full set on an old 350Z. Felt like I shaved 200 pounds off the crank. Throttle picked up faster, downshifts hit harder. No ECU tune needed. But here's where people mess up. They go too light on the crank pulley and throw off the harmonic balance. That can wreck your bearings, or even snap a crankshaft over time. Balance matters. Stick with reputable brands like Unorthodox Racing, Fluid Imper, or ATI. And for daily drivers, I skipped the underdrive on alternators. Dimming headlights at idle ain't worth the gain. This is one of those sneaky mods. You don't notice it on paper, but the feel behind the wheel is huge. Mod number 8. Upgraded spark plugs and ignition coils. You can have all the air and fuel in the world, but if your spark's weak, you're dead in the water. Upgrading your spark plugs and coils is one of the most overlooked performance mods out there. But let me tell you, it makes a difference. Cleaner burn, stronger ignition, more efficient combustion, and on tuned engines, it's mandatory. I did a coil and plug swap on a modded GTI that was misfiring at high RPMs. Threw in NGK Iridium plugs and R8 coils. Misfire gone, throttle sharpened, smoother idle. Felt like a new car. Now don't get cute with plug heat ranges. If you're boosted, you go 1 or 2 steps colder. If you're stock, stay with OEM spec or go Iridium for longevity. And don't mismatch junk coils from 5 different eBay sellers. You'll chase ghost codes for weeks. Use trusted stuff. NGK, Denso, MSD, Delphi. It's not just about performance, it's reliability. You get stronger spark, better cold starts, and even a tiny MPG bump. Mod number 7. Performance camshaft. This one's for folks running naturally aspirated setups who want real mechanical power, not just bolt-on fluff. A performance camshaft is the heartbeat of your engine. It controls when your valves open, how long they stay open, and how much air and fuel get in and out. Done right, you get more top-end power, stronger mid-range, and a wicked exhaust note. Even a mild cam upgrade, when paired with matched springs, push rods, and lifters, can unlock an extra 30 to 40 horsepower in the right setup. Throttle response sharpens, the rev range widens, and the engine breathes like it finally came alive. But here's where rookies screw up. They slap in a big cam without checking the rest of the valve train. Wrong valve springs, bent push rods, too much lift, piston meets valve, game over. And don't even think about a cam swap without a tune. Your ECU won't know what hit it, and your idle will hunt like a lost hound. Brands like Comp Cams, Brian Tooley Racing, and Texas Speed offer excellent grinds tailored to different goals. Just remember, NA builds shine when the cam is balanced with the rest of the system. Mod number 6. Oil catch can. You ever pull an intake manifold off a direct injected engine at 40,000 miles? Looks like someone poured barbecue sauce in there. Thick, black, greasy carbon gunk choking up everything. That junk comes from crankcase blow-by, oil vapor getting recycled back into your intake, and modern emissions systems make it worse, especially on DI engines. That's where the oil catch can comes in. Cheap, simple, and one of the best long-term mods you can do. I install one on every turbo build that rolls into my shop. It catches oil mist before it ever hits your valves, keeps the intake clean, improves combustion, and helps your engine breathe. I cracked open my son's GTI catch can after 6,000 miles. Half a cup of nasty black soup. That would have gone straight into the intake valves. Not on my watch. But don't run a knockoff Amazon can with no baffles. That's just a soda can with fittings. You want proper filtration? Look at JLT, Mishimoto, or Radium, and empty the damn thing. I've seen guys ignore it and end up with overflow in their intercooler. If you're into mods that actually feel like something, not just look good on a spec sheet, go ahead and smash that like button. Share this with a buddy who's chasing power, and subscribe for more upgrades that make a real difference. Mod number 5. Aluminum radiator upgrade. Let me tell you what kills more engines than bad tunes and redline revving combined: heat. I've seen head gaskets pop like popcorn because some guy thought his stock plastic radiator was fine. Fine until it cracked during a summer traffic jam and cooked the motor. An aluminum radiator isn't just about cooling, it's about protection. More core rows, better flow, superior heat dissipation. Whether you're boosted, cammed, or just drive hard, this is a mod that'll save your build's life. I slapped a Mishi motor unit into a customer's turbo Civic. The car used to run at 215 degrees Fahrenheit on a hard pull. After the swap, it sat at 185 degrees Fahrenheit all day, even in gridlock. No more heat soak, no more limp mode. But don't stop at the radiator. Replace those old rubber hoses, check your thermostat, and make sure your fan's doing its job. Cooling is a system, not a single part swap. Also, bleed it right. Don't leave air pockets. I've seen a guy grenade a freshly built engine because he didn't burp the coolant and overheated it on the maiden voyage. Mod number 4. Turbo timer or boost controller. Boost is beautiful, but it's also dangerous if you don't respect it. First off, a turbo timer. I don't care if you're running stock PSI or pushing big numbers. If you shut the engine off right after a hard pull, that turbo is sitting there red hot, with oil baked inside the bearings. You just killed its lifespan. A turbo timer lets the engine idle for a minute or two after shutdown. It keeps oil flowing and lets the turbo cool down properly. I've had turbos last over 120,000 miles just because the timer did its job. Now, boost controller, manual or electronic. This is how you command the pressure. Stock boost levels are fine for warranty-safe driving, but when you want more grunt, and your tune can handle it, a good controller lets you dial it in without spiking or surging. I like Turbo Smart for manual setups. For electronic, go with HKS or AEM. Reliable, repeatable, built to handle abuse. But let me be clear, don't crank the dial unless the engine's built for it. I've seen pistons turned into ashtrays from overboosting on stock internals. Don't be that guy. Mod number 3. Upgraded fuel injectors and pump. You ever see a car lean out under full throttle? It's not pretty. 1 second it's pulling hard, next second, boom, hole in the piston, engine's done. Why? Not enough fuel. When you start tuning, boosting, camming, whatever, you better make damn sure your fuel system can keep up. That means bigger injectors and a higher flow pump. I've upgraded dozens of setups. I had a built WRX that hit fuel cut at 5,000 RPM until we swapped in ID 1000s and a Walbro 255. After that, clean pulls all the way to redline. Fuel is your safety net. Run lean and you're playing with fire. But don't just slap in giant injectors for future plans. Too big and your idle goes to crap. Your AFRs are impossible to dial in, and your tuner will hate you. Match the size to your build and your goals. Precision matters here. Use quality brands, Injector Dynamics, Dietschwerks, AEM, Bosch. And always retune after fuel upgrades. Don't assume it'll figure itself out. It won't. Mod number 2. Performance intercooler for turbo engines. You can have the biggest turbo in the world, but if your intake air is hot, your power's a joke. That's where a performance intercooler comes in. A good intercooler cools down that compressed air before it hits the combustion chamber. Cooler air equals denser air. Denser air equals more oxygen. More oxygen means more power. Simple science. The stock intercooler on most turbo cars is built for emissions and economy, not power. It heat soaks fast, especially after a few hard pulls or in warm weather. Once that happens, your ECU pulls timing, your knock sensor panics, and your engine starts feeling like it's dragging a trailer uphill. Swap in a larger front mount or upgraded top mount intercooler, and the difference is night and day. Lower intake temps, more consistent power, and no heat soak tantrums. Go with proven brands: Mishimoto, Wagner Tuning, ETS, Garrett. Look at core size, bar and plate design, and pressure drop ratings. Make sure it fits your setup without blocking too much airflow to the radiator. This mod doesn't just add power, it protects your engine from detonation and keeps things consistent. Mod number 1. Forced induction, turbo or supercharger kit. If you're serious about power, nothing, and I mean nothing, delivers like forced induction. A turbocharger or supercharger kit transforms your engine from a spirited runner into a full-on beast. Naturally aspirated engines rely on atmospheric pressure to breathe, but slap on a turbo or supercharger, and you're cramming more air and more fuel into the cylinders. That means explosive combustion and serious horsepower. Gains of 40% to 100% or more aren't uncommon with the right setup and tune. Turbos are more efficient and make crazy power once they spool, but they can have lag. Superchargers offer instant throttle response and a linear power band, but they drain some power to make power. Both have their pros. Both make you grin like a kid on Christmas morning. But don't just bolt one on and pray. You'll need supporting mods. fuel system upgrades, intercooler, ECU tune, stronger internals if you're pushing it, and most importantly, a trustworthy tuner. This is not a budget bolt-on, it's an investment. But if you want the most bang for your buck, forced induction is the ultimate mod. Just be ready. Once you boost, you'll never want to go back. 5 mods I'd never recommend. Now for the promised bonus. Here are 5 mods I'd never recommend. I've watched these do more harm than add horsepower. Mistake number 1. Installing a budget turbo kit without proper tuning or supporting mods. This is the #1 rookie mistake I've seen ruin cars and dreams. Guys bolt on a cheap turbo kit thinking they're getting a 400 horsepower beast for under $1,000. No tune, no upgraded fuel system, no intercooler, nothing. Result? Melted turbo, warped pistons, blown head gasket. One guy I knew shelled out $6,300 to fix the carnage, and the car never ran the same. Don't cheap out on boost. If you can't afford to do it right, don't do it. Mistake number 2. Electric superchargers, aka eBay gimmicks. These are scams. Slapping a glorified hairdryer into your intake won't add horsepower. It'll just mess with your air-fuel ratio and possibly trip engine codes. If it doesn't come from a reputable brand, and it's under $150, run the other way. Mistake number 3. Octane booster snake oils. Dumping a bottle of mystery chemicals into your tank isn't a mod. It's wishful thinking. Most of these so-called octane boosters only raise your rating by half a point, if that. And modern ECUs won't even blink. You're better off just buying higher octane fuel from the pump. Mistake number 4. Noisy blow-off valves or fake turbo whistles. Want performance? Then skip the sound show mods. Those loud blow-off valves and turbo whistles might sound cool to your cousin in high school, but on the street or track, they add zero performance and just scream. I watched one too many Fast and Furious movies. Mistake number 5. Mismatched parts without a tune. Here's a hard truth. Every mod you do changes how your engine breathes, fuels, or burns. Add the wrong intake, exhaust, injectors, or MAF sensor without tuning, and you're creating problems. Your engine won't know how to adjust, and instead of gains, you'll get stalling, knock, or worse. Every part needs to work in harmony. Now that you know how to upgrade your engine with mods that are actually worth your money, don't stop there. Have you tried any of these mods before? Drop your experience in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more honest automotive content that actually works. Remember, being a smart builder means knowing what delivers results, not just what looks good in photos. Catch you next time.